I am Simply Sherry, and since March of 2020, we have been here in conversation with an amazing artist. At this point, I would tell you about my night. However, since I'm hosting tonight's conversation, I'll come back to that. Um, I will come back to that. But as Kaniki will always say, this is the time for you to go find your friends, find your family, find some people, let them know that we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. This is a conversation you're not going to want to miss tonight. Trust me. So for now, I'm going to make my point easy tonight. Right now, I'm going to kick it to our our poet in residence, Kaniki Jakarta.
Listen, y'all, we were already I was already doing the shimmy. Well, let me say, me and Miss Cayenne was doing the shimmy before we started, right? Mm-hmm. It goes down even before the show starts. It's already going down. So I'm gonna say I am super duper excited about our guest tonight. Mm-hmm. I always am, but I mean, when Simply Sherry brings somebody on, it's gonna be somebody magical, right? Because she gets to talk about everything, right? You know what I'm saying? She just left her segment open because she's gonna say artists are people too when we get to find out about the backstory behind our artists. So definitely tell all your families and friends and your mama and them that we are live. And listen, just don't be coming over here just looking, like, subscribe too while you're here, right? And then, like you said, make sure
we're getting something. I'm not saying we're running up on 100 on YouTube, but we're getting close. Like we're getting
close. And I know, and I get that a lot of people are watching, but we definitely want you to be, subscribe so we'll know that you're there as well. So please do that. And these platforms are not free, even though we're volunteering our times. And every artist that comes on, they volunteer their time as well. So if you would like us to continue to keep the mic on, please drop some coinage, what we say, some dollars, some love in the CashApp, scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So I am Kaniki Jakarta. I am happily a part of this platform that we have been doing since March 2020. And my night is called Poets and Platforms, where I interview poets who have platforms for all different types of art. So do come back next week and every week and things and such. So I am going to kick it to the one. Let me see, which way is it? That way. Did you never know? Okay, listen. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, make sure, listen, everybody says that this is a masterclass, right? And we do interview, right? We come on, Simply Sherry will be interviewing tonight, and then we do ask our questions, but you can ask questions too. This is why I say like, subscribe, and everything. So you can type your comments and your questions in people on Facebook and the people on YouTube. So I'm going to kick it to
Hey, Maurice, just saying hello.
Hey, Maurice. Hey, y'all.
I'm on mute, so I just put it in the chat. No worries.
All right. I am Miss Cayenne. I'm a poet, and I know it. What's up, everybody? I know we just have a good time. Like Kaniki said, the show starts before we come on here. Yeah, this is on and popping before we actually go live. So we want you to feel the energy, the fun, the love that we have. And as it's already been stated, tonight's going to be a very special night. So you want to lock in, whatever you're doing, maybe you're multitasking, but you just want to make sure you lock in, because I guarantee you there's going to be something you can walk away with that's just going to go with you and encourage you. My name is Miss Cayenne. I'm a poet, and I know it. I am the host, or the interviewer for passion projects, right? Passion projects, the root of the why. Those questions, why? But why did you choose that? But why? And I was the annoying kid, right? To ask the why. And so my segment is on second Sundays, and we have a great time there as well. But tonight is the night that we are locking into, and you want to strap in for tonight. So what I want to do is kick it to our wonderful, outstanding, stupendous girl genius.
Hi, everyone. I've unmuted myself. So I'm gonna throw it to you like this. If you don't know me, I am Danielle, also known as Girl Genius. Nice to see everyone this Sunday evening. If you ever see me in the background, 9 times out of 10, I am multitasking because I want to make sure everybody sees the live show. I handle some of the background stuff, so I'm always here. And if I ever look like I'm just doing things, like, no. I'm trying to make sure everybody gets a chance to sit in on these master classes, because I'm telling you, they're absolutely phenomenal. I go back and watch them all the time. So my week is first week of the month, and it is called Let's Talk About the ... Usually books. I usually have books and authors. Last go round, I had earlier this month I had a playwright, poet, author. He did all the slash things, the filmmaker. So this is what I do. I like to pick people's brain about the process and how they got the thing, and what did you do to put tangible product out in the world. So I am excited about this week. I'm going to stop stammering and talking because I'm really looking forward to getting into this week's interview. I know I'm all over the place today. I promise you. I'm here for this, though. I'm here for this. I've been waiting for this interview because this person is also a friend of mine. So I'm waiting for this. So I point that way. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. I did it right.
Thank you, team. I really appreciate it. We always let y'all know up front that pretty much everybody we bring on is somebody that we know personally. And I will always let y'all know when I am definitely interviewing one of the homies. This is one of the homies when it comes to CynDiva. So I'm going to say goodbye to my team as I start to read CynDiva's biography. CynDiva is a proud native Baltimorean. This award-winning actor, singer, songwriter has performed all over the world. She's received such accolades as the People's Choice Award winner at the Billie Holiday vocal competition. She was voted 98 Rock's Dominican Idol. She's been featured on Fox, CBS, and ABC. She was voted Best Up-and-Coming Soul Sista by the City Paper. Her adventurous spirit and thirst for travel has led her to perform from everywhere from the beaches to Broadway. Her self-released Dreadloc'd Soul Volume 1 and 2 are available at all digital outlets. Everyone, at this moment, please give a round of applause for my homie, CynDiva. Hey, honey.
Yay. Hey, fam. What's happening? Oh, my God. I sound like I'm important.
Hey, I appreciate it. You made it good. So, as mentioned in Cyn's bio, she is a singer and songwriter. And so that we could get the full breadth of CynDiva's work, she supplied us with a couple of videos of her working with the band. So her first video that I'm going to show tonight is Love You Back. Where was this one performed at?
Love Me Back.
Love Me Back. Yes, Love Me Back. Where was this one performed at?
That was at an event I used to co-host an online radio show called The Mellow Mix. So that was at a Mellow Mix, one of our first events. And that was the night that I reunited with my band from high school, the rap group that I was in high school. So that was a great night.
Okay, so I'm going to take us both off spring and then bring up the video. So give us all 1 minute, y'all. 30 seconds.
What are we doing about It's not the first time I've seen you. That's why I'm hoping that you hear alone. If things go my way, you will soon be in my zone. I'm playing it cool, yeah. Honey, that's my way. You're playing cool too, and you don't have too much to say. When no numbers exchange, yeah. You're walking into my ride. I've got the strangest feeling that my love is being denied. I love when you kiss it, I leave in my heart. All I want is just to be your little spark. My life, my future. Want us to share all of that. I don't need no roses, no diamonds and such. No candy or champagne, don't take that much. I got my own, you can keep the dance floor. I gotta feel it, baby. I believe your kiss is the cure. You pull me close and your heartbeat is the only thing I can hear. Hey, where'd everybody else go? 'Cause it seems they just disappeared. I offer you kisses, I give you my heart. All I want is to be yours. My life, my love, my future. Want us to share all of that. I don't need no roses, no diamonds inside, no candy or champagne. It don't take that much. You can give me your sky. All I need is you to love me. Love me, baby.
Yeah.
Love me, love me, baby. I don't need all of those silly things. All I need is your love, baby. Love me, I don't need material things. I can buy my own. All I need is for you to love me back.
Okay.
Hey, Sin.
Hey.
Oh my First off, all the love in the comments they got for that clip.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, I got my phone in front of me so I can see the comments. Thank you guys. Oh,
So there's the best place. Oh, you know what? I was going to say the best place to start is from the beginning. I'm going to say, as I've
Ooh.
mentioned already, CynDiva is one of the homies. CynDiva is actually, CynDiva and I have spent a lot of time together over the past 8 years.
yes.
I'll be honest. She's been doing my hair. Do not take how my hair looks right now as an indication of her work. I have gone swimming. So, but
in lovely swimsuits that you made yourself. Don't leave that part out either.
yes, true. That is true too. That is true. And believe it or not, I have like 2 more in the box that I need to.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that I gotta get. That I need to put together.
Okay.
All right. So a lot of where our conversation is going to start and go from is pretty much from things that we've actually talked about while she's been.
Okay.
Makes it easy to do this.
Right.
Here.
So I have to remember that I'm answering the people who weren't in the room when we had those conversations.
That's it.
Right.
So we want to start with, of course, so we're going to start at the beginning. When did you start singing?
Ooh, the beginning. So
the very beginning.
The very beginning, the day that I discovered my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what's wonderful about the human brain. I can remember that like it happened this morning, and it happened when I was 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
Ask me what I wore last week. And I But at the very beginning, so I'm from a huge family, right? I mean, like huge. Like I'm the youngest of 11, and that's just me and my siblings, right?
I get it.
So yeah, just gigantic. And I only actually have, that I know of, one other cousin who is the exact same age as me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she used to come. Either she would come here to Maryland from North Carolina, or I would go there every summer. One day she was teaching in the front yard. It was some random summer day, and she was teaching me a song from that she had learned in, what do you call it, Sunday school.
Okay.
And I don't know. I feel like, to me, it feels like angels, ancestors, like all sorts of heavenly beings visited us in that front yard. Because I went somewhere else I closed my eyes and I was just singing this song, just singing this song. And when I opened my eyes, my entire family and half my neighborhood was in my front yard crying.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, why are they crying?
Mhm.
And the lady from across the street who didn't even like kids was like, no, baby, you did everything right.
Oh.
And so that was the day that I discovered my voice. I was 7 years old. Yep.
So what did you do from then, kind of going through school, going through high school, to nurture and make it what it is?
Make it what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way
I know that takes training. I know that takes training.
Right.
Mhm.
So from elementary school, I kind of just did, whatever's available. I'm an inner city kid. So whatever's available, plays and summer programs and whatever in the neighborhood. And you always got the aunties that that baby can sing, let that baby sing. So there was that. And then in high school, I joined Living Word Ministries, which I actually still am a member of. Thank you. It's the longest running relationship I've ever had. Followed close second by my husband. Right. But so I joined Living Word Ministries, and I joined their choir. And thankfully, the choir director, who is now a pastor in his own right, Mr. Tony Smith, he was like, I love the freedom with, the way that you do what you do. I love the freedom. He's like, don't ever let anybody take the free feeling from you. Like, don't let people tell you how to sing a song. Because one of the things that I love about music is almost every time I sing, someone walks up to me and goes, I've heard that song 1,000 times, but I've never heard that song like that before. That is the best compliment you could give me. That is the
I love that. And that's interesting, because I don't think in all the time that I've known you, I don't know that I've ever heard you do a cover. I've only ever heard your original work.
Really? Yes. I'm sure you have, and you just don't remember.
Maybe I'm just connected to the original work. Could be. Right. You've told stories about doing shows and how your congregation actually supported you.
Absolutely.
Even though your shows were secular.
Absolutely.
And how so that is my note on my paper to talk about that. How that's presented itself to you, how it's.
So can I say that my church family, and I'm sure everybody thinks this, but my church family is the best. Okay. Again, with don't let people tell you how to use your gift. I do so very much believe that what I do is ministry, right? As the earrings say, I lead with love, right? Love is very important to me. Right. God is love.
True.
And love is an action word. And so when I when we were working on volume 1, I went to my pastor, Bishop Darnell Johnson at the time. And I had this whole long, conversation with him, like, all right, so I'm a deaconess in the church, and is it gonna, is this gonna not look right that I'm singing there's no gospel music on this CD. Like, I'm singing about love and relationships and somebody hitting me up in the DMs on social media, like, is God all right with this? And he was like, you know what you've been taught, you know what you believe. He's like, if these are the songs that God has given you to sing them. And then not only that, when you're finished, come and perform as many songs as you want. I'm gonna give you a whole Sunday. You are praise and worship for that Sunday. Bring whoever you need to bring your band, bring your background singers, your praise and worship. And make sure you bring CDs with you, because we're buying them at the end of service. And I was just like, this is what we're doing? This? So thankfully I only had to change one word, because I'm not, I ain't gonna tell that lie. I'm a cusser in real life, like in conversation, but I don't usually sing curse words.
Right.
So I only had to change one word, but yeah, like we got to do like a whole a set at church, and then they set up a table for me, and in the back of the sanctuary for the end of service, and I sold out that day. I sold out. It was great, and people in my church would walk up to me and quote song lyrics, and they have shirts and whatever else. It's great.
So, and you also told me that when you would do shows go ahead.
Hey, Miss Gail. Yes, that's one of my church members. Hey, Miss Gail.
Hello, Miss Gail. Thank you for joining us this evening. Again, thank you for everyone that is here in the chat. Interjection real quick. At the end of the interview, we will open the floor for questions. So if you have some questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm going to definitely ask everyone to definitely hang out through this interview, because we definitely have a flip that this interview is going to take.
Right. Yeah, we got hard left. We're going to take.
We're going to take the hard left.
Can I say something real quick? Because I noticed it on the flyer, but by the time I noticed it was too late.
Okay.
So,
what did I mess up?
In order to spell my name, there has to be a big D in the middle.
You're right. My bad. My bad.
You gotta have the big D.
And we're going to come. Trust me. Later in this interview, we're going to come up to the origin of that name. That's on my list.
All right.
My bad. Okay. Because you
know better than that.
I did. I was being quick, trying to make it look cute. You also talked about in our conversations that when you would perform even on other stages, your church will buy tickets to go to those other shows and performances.
Absolutely.
So I guess for you internally, how does it feel to have that type of support from your church home?
So for one thing, it again is a definitive for me. It's a definitive example of God's love for me. Okay. Right? Because, church people, not who I happen to be one of, but church people, oh, God is love and God loves you and yada, yada, yada. And in a lot of instances, you hear it, but you don't see it and you don't feel it.
Right.
If God loves me even a tenth as much as the people of God at my church, I can't even imagine. I mean, because it's so real and it's so tangible. And there were a couple people, like a couple of elders who, of course, were not coming out to nightclubs at 10, 11 o'clock at night, but they would buy stacks of tickets and like give them to people in birthday cards. And you know what I mean? And somebody else did like a raffle at the end of a church service and gave away the tickets, and then also gave the person the money that they got from the raffle, like stuff like that, like stuff that it's almost unfathomable to me, right? It's like, I'm just grateful. I'm very, very grateful for all of the people.
The first time you told me that, my heart was like, you know what? If I am not downing all church people, but if the churches that I have been to in the past showed love like that, I would probably have a better opinion of church. Does that make sense?
It definitely does. Because coming to this church, and which is the reason why I'm still there over 30 years later, coming to this church, I was coming from those places, right? Like I've been there since I was a teenager, but I was coming from those places where they would give those sermons about how teenagers of the world today are the worst this and the worst. You know what I mean? It's like, but okay, so you told us we're the worst. So what's the solution? There would never be any solution. There were lots of cliques and all of that sort of stuff. But when I got to Living Word, I literally learned how to love in those walls. And it is no surprise that I met my husband there.
So one other thing that I also love that you do is if you will put your own show on.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Because I want to, so this is for the audience members that don't know Cyn like I know Cyn. I want to say, I think the last time I saw you live with your band, you were in the community room at your apartment complex.
Yes. Yes. So for me, and I don't know if this is because I'm the youngest of a large group of people. I actually am not clear on why, but as a general rule, if I can't find what I want, I believe that's an indication that I'm supposed to become what I want.
I get that.
If that makes sense. So I really wanted to. You're talking about the intimate evening. That was such a great night. Thank you.
It was such a good night.
I bullied you into participating. I'm sorry. I love you.
No, I loved it. I had a good time. It was just funny.
Right. So I really wanted to do something intimate, right? Like I wanted to, I wanted to kind of thank my friends and family for all the support, because I was totally, of course, when you're doing stuff like that, when you're doing stuff like recording a CD, especially when you know your budget is coming out of your pocket, like you're working overtime and doing the things, you know what I mean, and not getting your hair done so you could get studio time and all of that.
Right.
You want to believe A, that what you're doing is going to be good, and B, that what you're doing is going to be well received, right? And so when other people say, yo, I heard, Dreadloc'd Soul and my favorite one, and they start singing the song, like that's a whole other thing. Like, you know what I mean? So I wanted to say thank you to all of the people who, like my mom, who, she came over like, give me a box of CDs. I was like, what you mean? How many? She was like, how many come in a box? How many? And like, she's at work slinging CDs. And if anybody ever saw a cute little lady with dreadlocks downtown selling CDs, talking about, this is my baby. That was my mother. I hope you were nice to her.
So this is not a question, but I just thought to ask, how did you meet Natty?
Oh, that. Thank God for technology, y'all. People talk bad about Facebook and all of that stuff, but thank God for Facebook and technology. So who was it? It was Jay McGraw. And this again is about people talking, saying your name when you're not in the room. Right. So that's how that happened. I did a show. I believe it was Judas Juke Joint. And I don't even remember which one he was at. So I hadn't even really recorded. I mean, I'd recorded a couple things here and there, like messing around with friends. But I hadn't done a whole project yet. And so Jay was talking to Natty. I don't even know where they were, if they were on the phone or how that even happened. And he was like, if you don't do anything else in your life, you need to hear this girl, CynDiva. And Natty like, oh, all right, cool. So he either gave him my website or my Facebook page. I'm not even sure. But of course, there were videos up everywhere. Right. And he inboxed me like, hey, I'm not flirting, but, Jay McGraw told me, that if I make music and la, 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 but, as a female artist, right. We get those all the time. Like, yeah,
all day, every day.
Music. And I was like, all right, so send me something. I had been looking for, it was a sound. I couldn't describe it. Sorry, Maurice. I couldn't describe it. And I'm saying sorry, Maurice, because I drove him up one wall and down the other trying to describe the sound I was looking for. And he pulled out every instrument. He had. And I was like, nah, that's not quite it. I'm going to circle back to you. But but so Natty sent me, I think he sent me 3 or 4 tracks. And I was like, that's the sound. And I wrote something to the first track he sent me. I wrote it and I recorded my scratch vocals and sent it back to him like 2 days later. I didn't even know this man. I didn't know what he looked like. I just knew that was the sound that I was looking for. Okay. And so that whole first song that we wrote without ever even being in the same room together.
Good transition to my next question, which is, so where do you find inspiration for your songwriting?
Oh, that's a good question. Inspiration. So sometimes it'll be, because my actual life, I mean, other than, traveling and doing all the divalicious things like that.
Right.
My life is pretty vanilla, right? In the way that I've been with my husband since I was 16, right?
Right.
And so, and we're not, some couples are dramatic and they argue and yell and talk to each other crazy. We're best friends, so that's never an issue. So any of like the tumultuous kind of oh, it's a breakup, those kind of songs are written because I have conversations with my single friends, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what I would do if that was me. How would I handle this? And so some of those songs come that way. Then there are other songs where, and Natty will attest to this, and so will Maurice. Someone will play me a track, and there'll be lyrics in there. Like for some songs, I feel like I write them. For other songs, I feel like I simply write them down.
I get that. I get that.
You know what I mean? That like spirit and ancestor, I don't know who, angels, they got something to say, and I'm fast enough and smart enough to just write it down. There are several songs that I feel like I don't even know that I'm that creative to write some of these songs that have come that way. So sometimes it'll be, and then of course, I'm a writer, and so sometimes it's a writing prompt. Like someone will call me and say, "Oh, you should write a song about blah 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 blah," and I'll be like, "Can I write a song about whatever that is?" Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, inspiration is everywhere. You just have to be listening.
I just wanted to, it's a question that we should always ask when we're talking
to
poets, when we're talking to songwriters who are poets with music. It's all the same thing.
Right.
The same thing.
That's basically what I do. And I am a word nerd. Anyone who has ever had a conversation with me will tell you I love words. I love words. I love word origins. I look up phonetics and where they came from, what country, and like how the word transitioned from where it started to it. Yeah, I'm a whole word nerd. And so sometimes I'll be writing something and I'll use a word and I'm like, I can go deeper than that. So then I'm with the thesaurus and the rhyming dictionary, and I'm trying to, okay, so in this sentence, people expect to hear at the end of this word, but can I go left, like right at this last word? Can I say something that means close to the same thing, but it's not the phrase that's expected, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's always fun.
I just throw that question out. Yeah. So we discussed the last time I heard you sing live, which leads us into the spring of 2018.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. And,
all right, we're here now.
We're here now. We're here now because we had to get here. We knew it was going to get here. And this is the part of the conversation that I wanted to make sure that everyone in the room stays for. So, as we discussed previously, you do not have to go into detail, but what happened in the spring of 2018.
Okay, so and this will answer a lot of questions for a lot of people about why they haven't seen me. So in the spring of 2018, I was involved in a car accident and sustained a traumatic brain injury. And so, yeah, most systems that the brain covers were damaged or shifted in some way. So vision, equilibrium, balance, hearing. I literally physically was not able to sing for 3.5 years because the act of singing, first of all, I had like some damage in my neck. And so the act of singing caused pressure here, which caused pressure in my head. And it would literally make my head feel like it was going to explode. So, yeah.
So I've held off this for 35 minutes. So now I'll say it to the audience.
Okay.
I told my team beforehand, this show has caused me to cry before tonight once during another interview. It wasn't until I was loading CynDiva's videos tonight. I've known about this complication to her ability to sing, But it wasn't until I was loading these videos tonight that I went, oh my God, I really haven't heard her sing. Even though I have her CDs, they're on my iPod, on my phone. I hadn't heard her sing live in 4 years now. And I was just like, oh my God. And I cried. So yes, pre-show, I was crying. Pre-show, I was crying because I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God, I remember her. Yeah.
Yes, because it hurt.
Excuse me.
The first question I wrote, because we've had the conversation about this, is that your symptoms did not present right away.
Right. And that happens with a lot of adults. So the accident was on the 14th of that month. I'll just say what month it was. I don't know why I'm talking in riddles. The accident happened 3 days after my birthday. And so anybody who knows me knows that I celebrate my birthday for the whole month of March.
Exactly. That's how we do
it. Because I can. And so I was still in full celebration mode. So we had like a trip scheduled and, all the things. Like I had some shows scheduled and all of that. And I want to say like maybe 3 days after the accident, I started to feel off, right? Like I didn't quite know what was going on. But, at that point, I'm already in another country on a beach. I'm getting some sand. We done had some tequila shots or whatever, we doing a vacation thing. The day before we came back, I started to get a headache. Did what you usually do for a headache. So, we traveled back home, and when we got home, I was like, oh, dude, jet lag is kicking my butt. And I laid down and I slept for like 19 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I woke up twice to go to the bathroom, maybe. And yeah, I was like out. And when I woke up, like my head was throbbing, and the whole world was spinning, and I could feel it spinning. And I was on that tilt-a-whirl for like 9 months, just all day, every day. Just spinning. Yeah, just spinning and in pain. And I was like, okay, God, I don't know what I'm supposed to learn, but I'm ready to learn it and get off this part. I don't like this part. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty bad for a while. I will say that I'm not yet. I have evolved tremendously since then. Anyone who hasn't seen me since then, you don't know me anymore. And I'm not saying that to be, I'm a totally different person. Like in my being of who I am, I'm a totally different person. You kind of can't not be, you know what I mean?
And we're not going to go too far into it, but I also want to say that CynDiva finding the care she needed to actually start to correct everything has been a nightmare. And I hope she writes the book about that one day.
I will. Yeah, I will. I have some definitive thoughts about American healthcare. Yeah. I have some from this side of the table. I have some definitive thoughts.
We could be here for another hour just
on that. Yeah.
But in recent months, actually pretty much this year, now that I think about it, things have started taking a turn. So are you able, we're going to talk about some other things as well, what you did in this meantime. Are you more comfortable singing now than you were?
Yes. So what I'm doing now is I am retraining my voice. Thank you, Kaniki. I'm glad I don't look like what I've been doing. I'm retraining my voice because being that music and singing has always been such a giant part of who I am. And if you would have asked me 4 years ago, I would have said, oh, I am music. And, music is me. And I was born in the beat and all those wonderful, beautiful, flowery things I used to say.
Right.
Right. I sort of, in an effort to get back to it, I inadvertently taught myself some bad habits, some bad vocal habits. And so I'm taking the rest of this year to retrain my voice properly so that when I come back in 23, I can just give y'all all of the goodness the way it's supposed to be gave.
Yes, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. And you have somebody else that's willing to buy that book as
Are you
well.
gonna buy the book? Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm about, trust me.
My...
Yeah, start making,
right.
you need to start writing that book.
Okay, so I'm universe. I guess I'm ready for the person who's supposed to help me write this here good book to come on in the room. And all the people said amen. Amen.
There you go. Thank you, Maurice. Count them in. Count me in as well.
Oh, you know I'm calling you.
Yeah.
For several things.
So during this forced break,
right,
you were, and then of course we doubled down with COVID.
So let me tell you about how funny that is. So remember I said that the accident happened 3 months after my birthday. I mean 3 days, months, Lord, 3 days after my birthday, right? And so I get to the point, so that was 2018, right? So I'm struggling, I'm fighting, I'm going through all the things. I get a little bit better, right? And then 2020 comes and I'm like, oh, I feel better. Like I'm ready to go people again. And you know, I only have a headache a couple times a month now. It ain't all day, every day. And I'm like, oh yeah, we gonna stretch out. I'm gonna start booking some shows and blah, 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 blah.
COVID set us down.
COVID was declared a world pandemic on my birthday.
So here's the thing, y'all. Me and CynDiva's birthdays are 9 days apart. They declared it on her birthday. 2 days later, I got my hair done. That was the last outing, big outing I did. And then by Monday, they shut the world down. That was the week of my birthday.
Everything shut down. Yeah.
The whole world. It was like the last thing, I told everybody, the last thing I did was go get my hair done. That Saturday. I was like, after that,
ridiculous.
It was done.
And my mom said, you know what it is, right? I said, what? She said, you so hard-headed. You are so hard-headed that God shut the whole world down to make your behind be still. I said, don't put all that on me.
Wow.
Put all of that on me. I didn't do that.
So during your forced hiatus, you were exploring other creative outlets. What were you doing during that time?
So of course I said, sounds were an issue and light was an issue. And I'm an empath, incidentally. And so energy and people, all of that was also an issue, like being around large groups of people. And so I started painting. There's actually one of my paintings behind my head. I started painting because it's something quiet that I could do by myself. And then I have a bit of an earring affinity. So I also started making earrings. So these are a pair that I did. So just cute little quiet things that I could do. And I do not by any stretch of the imagination consider myself a painter or any of that. It was just something creative for me to do.
To channel.
I channel something quiet that I could do because I still had, all of that creative energy in me. I still felt like I needed to. Makers make, creators create. I still felt like I had, and with earrings, I guess you kind of have to have a plan, but pretty much with painting, it's sort of like writing a song. You can start with a blank canvas and just start to throw colors on it, and eventually something snaps, something will snap into place. Okay, so where I put this little swirl kind of looks like it could be a horse's head, so maybe I could make this a unicorn or whatever, you know what I mean? And so it fed my creativity in that way. But yeah, it was just something quiet that I could do to get
No, that was the point I wanted to make sure that we got out, because even though you couldn't do what you normally do and would love to be doing, which is singing, songwriting, being and performing, you found other ways to get that get those keep those creative juices flowing.
Right. I don't feel like I had a choice. That's not the word I want to use. I want to use a different word, but I don't know what it is. Not like it was compulsory, like someone was making me do it, but it felt like it was something. I guess it was a need. It was something I needed to do because I didn't have anywhere else for that energy. The energy didn't go anywhere.
Right.
Also, the whole songwriting part, because people were like, well, you could write lyrics, that's quiet. I also had, I believe it's called dysphagia, where my brain would flip words like in spelling and in talking. And sometimes I still do it and I just laugh it off like I was just being goofy. But I will think that I will intend to say one word and I'll say something that's totally unrelated to what we're talking about.
Right.
So, yeah. So it doesn't happen as often as it used to, but it's still a thing. So I just catch people looking at me like, I go, like, what I say?
And it's about just being patient because because I want to say you were talking about something had happened, but I want to say, I think I was still seeing you for like another 6 months before I actually even asked what's going on, because that's just who I am.
Right.
This is all just who I am. Like I'm the kind of person that will tell you, oh, such and such passed away. And this is like somebody I kind of know. And they're like, how? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't ask that question.
Nobody told me. Right.
Nobody told me. If they want me to know, somebody will tell me. They ain't tell me, I'm not going to go ask.
Right. I understand that. So yeah. So part of it was, again, I'm from a giant family, right? And again, I said being around people and sounds and that sort of thing. So we were instructed to keep it close to the, you know what I mean? Just because I knew that once it was general knowledge, the folk would start to arrive, and I couldn't people.
Right.
Peopling was not an option. I spent many days in my room. You see this black wall behind me? In my room, next to this black wall with the lights off, because that was the most I could give, in a day. So, yeah, we had to keep it.
I get it.
On a need to know, because
I completely understand. I completely get it.
Yeah.
So, and this is just to mention to the audience, is that they also know that we maintain a list of people that we've wanted to talk to on this platform. CynDiva has been on this list for a while, since we originally wrote the list.
Oh,
yeah, you were on the list. Akil, when he was here in February, said, "Yeah, you need to interview CynDiva." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know," but I also knew in the back of my mind,
Right. Right. You were waiting for me.
I was waiting for her, and I wanted, because I knew we needed to have this portion of the conversation, and I didn't want to I wanted you to be ready to talk about it before.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
No, that's I have one or two manners. Just one or two, not too many.
No. So, and I was having this conversation with someone earlier. I believe that there is what is the word I want to use? There is an aura and a something, I can't think of the word right now, that comes with the name CynDiva, right? Like people assume all these things because of the diva part, right?
Right.
And a lot of people don't treat me like a person. They treat me like an entity.
I get that.
And so I'm grateful to you for always treating me like a person. That's what I was saying. Thank you for.
Oh, love you. I do. Love you.
I do know that.
Again, now I could keep this conversation going on a little while longer. However, what I'm going to do is if anyone that has watched this segment before from behind the microphone, I have 10 questions based on the idea came from Inside the Actor Studio, how he always asks the same 10 questions at the end. I do the same thing. For musicians, I may switch up the questions a little bit. And yesterday I was given a new question and I was like, oh, I am going to ask that one.
Ooh.
So now, my first two questions we've already talked about. What brought
Okay.
you to singing? Your first performance singing. So we're going to skip those two. The
Okay.
next question: your stage name, CynDiva. Where did it come from? What do you want the audience? We're going to ask audience questions afterwards. Don't worry,
Okay.
we'll get to the audience questions.
Okay.
Right, Gail.
So CynDiva came from a lovely gay man in the back of a room. I believe I was doing like either an open mic or like a a talent show or something. And I swear I love the alphabet people. They find me. They always have. And I think it's my cousin Reggie, Lord rest his soul. I learned how to do makeup, and I learned most of what I know about being a girl from a gay man.
Got it.
And so this dude, and he kept yelling, what she say her name was? CynDiva? And they were like, no, Cynthia. Cindy, she got to be diva. She that girl's a diva. I was like,
I love it.
I kind of like that. But as I was thinking about it this week, about the reason why there's a capital D is because I feel like Sin and Diva are two separate yet intertwined entities, right?
I get
and
that.
so they come together like a megabot. I'm such a nerd. I'm giving
It's all right. Be nerdy.
I'm giving Transformers references here. Right. And so they come together to form this new thing that is all the best of both.
I got that. I like that.
Yeah.
So the new question that is being added. So for everyone that hasn't had to, the new question is this: if Prince were still with us today, he could not do a concert without performing Purple Rain. What is the one song that the audience would not allow you to leave the venue not performing?
Me. Ooh.
Yes, you.
Wow.
And for all my poet friends, that's the new question for y'all too. What song are they asking you for?
I would say that's interesting. Wow, that's a great question. So I know, right, that the song "Hey" off of Volume, is that off of Volume 2? Whatever. The song is called "Hey." That's the one that people like to listen to, but I don't know necessarily that they like to hear me perform it live.
Okay.
Live, I would say maybe "Love Me Back" or "The Breeze." That's the one everybody wants to hear. Okay. Yeah. I thought you were going to ask me what song I would want Prince to sing. I already had that.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. What song do you want to hear Prince? What song do you want to hear Prince sing?
So for me, and it is a song that most people don't even know. Sometimes It Snows in April is my absolute favorite.
Yes.
Prince
yes.
Song. And I have heard it 952,000 times, and I cry at some point in the song every time I hear it.
I get that. Who is your favorite? Oh, yeah. Who is your favorite writer? This can be a songwriter, poet, author. Who is your favorite writer?
My favorite writer. These are really good questions. So my favorite novel writer,
anybody,
is Michael Connelly.
Okay.
Yeah, I really love his style, the way he sets a scene. My favorite songwriter is probably Prince. I would say it's a good, like, it's right here, like Prince and Michael Jackson. Like, yeah.
I get it. What is the name of the song that you haven't written yet that you would like to write?
Ooh, the song that I haven't written. I love this question, and I love the way people's faces look when you ask this question. And now I probably have that same stunned look on my face, like I didn't know the question was coming. The name of the song that I haven't written is "The Real Me." Okay. The Real Me. And I'll tell you why. Because at this moment in my life,
Mhm.
I am the most healed I've ever been. I am the most whole that
Mhm.
I've ever been. And I am the truest version of myself that I have ever been. And I am floored by the fact that I'm just getting started, right? On this journey to the real me. So I think
Mhm.
as I learn who I really am,
Mhm.
yeah, I think that would be a really great song to write, the real me.
You can have a 1 hour conversation with anyone, living or dead. Who would you like to speak to and why? And what would you want to talk about?
Definitely my mother. So let me clarify that. I said something about my mother passing out CDs downtown. I'm not crazy. So my mother, who gave birth to me, passed away when I was 4 years old.
Mhm.
If you hear me saying that my mother is going to be somewhere, I'm talking about my sister who raised me. She did the work, so now she gets to have the title. She's
I
my
get
right.
that.
And so I would definitely have a conversation with my mother. And what I would talk about, everything. I would talk about
Mhm.
all the things that she missed in physical,
Mhm.
all the things I missed because she wasn't here.
Mhm.
I would ask all the questions that little girls ask their mothers that other people can answer, but it's not quite as special.
I get that.
Yeah, all those things.
So, as a musician, this question comes out two ways to you. So,
Okay.
as I ask everybody else, the first question is Pier 6 is set up for you. You've got the best seats in the house, 3 acts. Who's performing?
These are people who are still alive?
Live or dead? Anybody?
Live or dead. 3 acts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say Prince simply because I actually did get to see him once before he left physical.
Yes.
Michael Jackson, because I did not get to go. And I'm still mad at my cousins because they went without me. Because so what? I was in elementary school. I still would have enjoyed the concert. I'm still right. I'm all the way grown.
I get
grown
that.
children, and I'm still mad about that.
I'd be mad too. I'd be mad too.
Right. So probably Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Aretha Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Billie Holiday.
Ooh. So, because you're a musician, singer, who two artists that you would like to perform with? Again, we can go living or dead.
With two artists that I'd like to perform with. You know what? What's really funny is all my life I have maintained a list of people that I would like to sing with. And two of the people who were most important on that list are not here anymore. And this is going to surprise you. James Brown was one of them.
Oh, wow. I could see it.
Right. But he gave such a show, right? Like even though when he was younger, vocally, he was, a force also. But just all the things that he controlled and did while he was on stage have always been amazing and inspiring to me. So definitely James Brown. And I actually want to say that and I'm saying this because I know the universe is listening, I still want to perform with Fantasia.
Okay.
Yeah, I still love her. And she was just here last night.
I'm going to go straight to the last question because we've talked about these other two already.
Okay.
I think we have.
Okay.
So the last question. So everyone, this is going to be my last question from the Behind the Microphone segment. I'm going to play. We're going to introduce Sindiva's other song video, and then when we come back, we will start taking questions from anybody in either chat on Facebook or on YouTube. Again, thank you to everyone that has been here all night through the interview, and of course, my team will be back to ask questions as well.
Okay.
The last question, borrowed directly from Inside the Actor's Studio. If heaven exists, what would you want to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I would want to hear God say, thanks for listening.
Introduce the next song. Let's introduce the next song.
Yeah. Well, girl, I don't even know what song I gave you.
Hold on 1 second. You know what? Let's surprise everybody. Sin and I are
Surprise,
going
it's a
to
song.
screen, and here you're performing at Sonoma's with Mo Reese, Quentin Randall, Chuck the Maddox. This is an amazing.
I do know the song now that you said that stuff. Okay, this song is called Play With Me.
Okay, here we go.
Y'all can keep clapping.
We getting the full slow-mo effect, so I had to walk up here real slow. I was waiting for the wind machine to blow my hair.
I know, me too.
It didn't show up though, so I had to. Y'all ready? Yeah. I think somebody took my water as a souvenir or something, because I can't.
Come on and play with me.
Just bringing you back because I know we
Okay.
both know that this is like a 9-minute video. And I want
Right.
to go ahead and bring
Right.
the team
Agreed.
back in.
Agreed.
Oh, wait a minute. All right. So when the team is ready, we will bring them back in. And while we are waiting, Akil asks, were there songs or scriptural verses that helped console or comfort you during your post-accident trials? If so, could you share those scripture verses or songs?
Yep, like Will had already read that to me. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So what? First off, let's give it up for the husband in the background.
Well, wingman is on it. He makes me look better.
Yes. So
Always.
what were the songs or scriptures that helped you during your healing process?
Specifically, let me see. I want to make sure I say it right. So Psalms 46:10.
Okay.
Because remember I said peopling and the sounds and the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Be still and know that I am God. I am is the most powerful sentence in the world. Be still and know that I am. And that message is from God.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ashe.
That's how I felt that every time it came through.
Mm-hmm.
Be still first. And then know that I am God.
Akil also asks, what's the Michael Jackson and Prince song that you love to sing the most?
Ooh. So I definitely, in my personal time, I sing Sometimes It Snows in April all the time. Surprisingly, my favorite Michael Jackson song to sing is The Way You Make Me Feel. I love the ad-libs in that song.
Right?
Sometimes a cha-ooh will just bubble up out of my spirit. You know, when something is real good, especially like food.
Mm-hmm.
A cha-ooh. Yeah, it comes on up out of there.
I'm a Shimon person. Shimon. Shimon.
What they did is bullet. Right, exactly. So yeah, and Prince. So for the Baltimore scene, I Would Die for You. And when I was asked, so they're like, oh, there's this Prince segment because it was right after he transitioned, right? And Chenier was like, I need you to sing. These are the two songs I want you to choose from. And I don't even remember what the other song was, but it wasn't Purple Rain, but it was something else slow. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I could do that. That would be easy, you know, because I'm a balladeer. I love a good slow it on down and let me play with the sounds and drop the drums out and drop the guitar and just me and the saxophonist and whatever, right? I can do all of that.
Right.
But I was like, I Would Die for You would be so much fun. Mm-hmm. And it was. That was one of my favorite performances, like, ever. Yeah. So I Would Die for You. I really like performing that.
All right. I have, again, audience, if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. But now I'm opening the floor up to my friends here and keep the mic on.
CynDiva.
Yeah.
Girl, you're
Wait, Kaniki always trying to jump in first. No, get back.
You know what? That's what short people do. You gotta have to be first and loud. Short people gotta be first and loud. That's what they do, right? They be like, hey,
that's what they do.
First and loud.
Exactly what they do.
First and loud. I just wanted to say that you have a type of feel good music, right? That certain people, like, they can sing, right? And it's good, you know, it's dancing, you know, snap your finger kind of music. But certain people like you, like Fantasia. So I'll use Fantasia as an example, right? So, you know, when you hear Fantasia, it's like the soul, like you feel, like you hear Beyonce, you jamming, right? But it's something about Fantasia's, you know, this is a soul thing that you feel, right? So you feel like whatever it was that you were putting into the music, right, at that time, right? So you can feel it. It brings a some type of feeling of peace, I would say.
Oh, beautiful!
Right?
Thank you for that.
Feeling of peace, right? So everybody, I think, has a reason why they do things, right? So, like, as a poet, I'm always asking, like, what is your poetry for, right? Is it to inspire people? Do you have message poetry, right? So my question to you would be, like, before you had a reason, but like now you have a new reason, right? You got to have a new reason. So when you sing to people now, like, how is that what message now do you think? What do you think? I don't know what you were putting into your songs, but I'm saying how I feel the piece when I hear you sing, right? So I'm feeling the peace, I'm feeling the creativity and the soul part. I'm putting it all, my everything in here, right? You know how people say they put their foot in it. I done put my foot in this, right?
Put all that in there, yep.
Yes, but now, so now everything has changed.
Everything literally, yeah.
Everything has changed. So that's now, good. What's different?
Okay, so I'm gonna get to that, but all of that brought up something else. You said something about the soul and all of that stuff. So first, I want to say that the day that I decided that I wanted to sing as a professional, as an outlet, was when my parents, when I was either 13 or 14 for my birthday, my parents took me to see Patti LaBelle.
Wow!
And I was one of the only kids in the place. But I watched Mama Patti do the things that Mama Patti does. And when
that's another one.
She peeled off her eyelash and people were fighting for the eyelashes.
Wow.
I said out loud, God, I want to do that. I want to do that. Like that. I want that. And so there's that. And then also, before I perform, always, my prayer is, give me what the people need. This isn't just like you said, anybody can sing a song and make you, give me, God, what the people need. And so sometimes in the middle of the show, I'll stop and say, somebody ain't feeling it today. I just want to tell you, God told me to tell you, it's okay. It'll be different tomorrow. I've had people tell me, girl, I was going to kill myself tonight.
Wow.
You sang my soul happy.
Wow.
So there's that. And so now I think before, because there's pre-accident Cynthia and post-accident CynDiva.
Right.
I would say that there's another level of gratitude that I think I had lost in the process. There's another level of gratitude for the ability to even do the things, right? To even sing the song or remember the lyrics or perform with the band, like all the things I couldn't do for those 3.5 years that I wasn't sure if I was ever going to be able to do again, right? So I had to redefine, who am I? Because life is long if you do it right. Who am I if I can't be this thing? Who am I then? And so that's what this last 4 years has been. And that's why I say, anybody who hasn't spent any time with me in this time, you don't know me. I'm not her anymore. I can't be her anymore. And so going forward, the sound is going to be different because I'm different.
Yeah, you have definitely spoke a word in that, right? Because people often define themselves and what they do and their ability to do something, right? This is who I am. This is who I am. And thinking about who you are outside of your artistry, especially for an artist, is a, something to dig deep into. So you definitely spoke a word to somebody right now, right?
And I hope they're listening. I hope they really listening.
Yeah.
You heard me, but are you listening?
I hope they hear it again when they watch it on repeats.
And
yes, come back, send your friends.
Run it, bring it on back. Yeah.
I ain't gonna take over the whole thing because I'll be talking.
That's a good question.
Look, I'll call you out of the show and be like, girl.
I mean, you know.
I'll be like, what's the phone number?
I'll jump in with half of what I was gonna say. The first half of what I was going to say, not in the question, because I want Miss Kayana to ask a question, but this wasn't even my question. It was the statement of, this is going to be one of those shows. We get them where it's just everything. How do I put this? Like, this is going to be one of those ones for the books where you go back and you're like, how did I missed this? I needed this again. Like you're gonna want to listen to this again.
That's great.
Like,
That's
like,
great.
like we like all of our shows are good. Don't get me wrong. Like we've had phenomenal people on here who drop all kinds of words, but there's certain ones where you're like, I really feel like you're gonna want to go back and listen to this again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Most definitely. I've already decided that. It was already decided. I will be watching this on the plane tomorrow. I'm just like,
Okay.
there's so much. First of all, yeah, there was a comment made that we favored each other, and I was like, you should have heard me in here. Come through, CynDiva. Come through, cousin. It is my sister. That's what I'm saying.
And it would not surprise me if we really are related, because my family is humongous.
Oh my goodness, I thoroughly enjoyed, and again, like Girl Genius said, I already decided, it was already implanted in my mind. I'm watching again.
Thank you.
I was like, I wanted to say a few things. Like when you talk about being a word nerd, I laughed because I was the kid that I do the same thing when writing, like you were talking about, deciding I can go deeper with this word. This is not. I got to surprise them with this word. And that cost me sometimes. People be like, "What did she say? What did she talking about?"
Wait, what?
Right.
What
They can reach for it.
Right. Reach for it. I was the kid that did my own vocabulary list at home. I go to the dictionary and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use this word one day," that type of thing. So I could really relate. And then another thing I wanted to say was Michael Jackson. Mama say, mama say, mama say, mama say, mama say, mama say,
mama kusa.
When I say, it's like going to church. Every now and then I'll play that just so I can just have a relief. I'm like, this is Michael Jackson. But anyway, I can relate to that as well. One of the things I did want to ask, I wanted to ask you, and I was thinking about my own show and some of the questions I asked, and there was a few things. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, what are you most proud of? What are you most proud of?
Ooh. At this moment, I would say I'm most proud of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, right? Like, yeah, I went through it.
Yeah.
And not even just like life has been some stuff before that. Yeah. And then like the whole, like we just discussed, the whole foundation of everything that I thought was shaken.
Yeah.
Right. And when you're in that space, I don't know how long this is going to take. People say, oh, and the reason why I specifically say traumatic brain injury and not concussion is because we've taken the severity out of the word concussion, right? Oh, she just got her bell rung. She'll be fine in 2 weeks. And so that also was a stigma on me. Like, girl, it's been 9 months. What you mean you still... people calling me like, all right, you canceled the show. It's been a year. You ready to? No, I'm not ready. But all you had was a concussion. What you mean? And so in all of that, I'm not going to say I didn't ever doubt. I'm not going to say I didn't ever. My faith wasn't questioned. I had questions.
Yeah.
And I had some heated conversations.
Right.
But I never lost faith. And I never lost the will to find the answers. Because as Sherry said, some of the questions that I asked some of the healthcare professionals, the answer was just, no, that's just what happens. And I'm like, no, if it can't, God is such a great engineer, right? I'm not the first person to have this happen to me.
Exactly.
There is a way to undone it. Right? I just have to find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, it was a quest to, okay. So basically what you just told me, Miss Doctor, is that you don't have the answer.
Right.
You're a great doctor, but this is where we have to part ways because
I don't have all the answers, Sway.
Right. Sway. You don't know the answers. Right. And so, and a lot of times in American medicine, they want to just throw pills at you. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, how you gonna give a person with a bad memory 9 different pills to take at 9 different times a day? That's my first issue. That's my first issue. You're setting me up for failure here.
Right.
Right. And so I am most proud to bring it all back around. Me. of my ability to not only survive, but to thrive.
Mhm.
And to, as Kaniki so eloquently said, not look like what I've been through. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Ashe, ashe. And let me just say to everybody listening, the sound of my voice, it is never wrong to say you are proud of yourself. It is never wrong to say anything about your accomplishments. We have been taught that we cannot brag on ourselves, right? That it's braggadocious if we talk about ourselves. You better say, this is what I've been through. This is who I am. This is what God has brought me through. This is what I look like. And I'm talented. And I can write. And I can sing. You better tell some people.
And I'm cute. Don't leave that board out.
You better let them know. You better let them know. And I do it well. And you got to say it. You better say it. You better say it. And be proud of it.
Right.
And be proud of it.
Yes. There you go.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask this question from Maurice, and then I'm going to, because he asks a very funny question and then a serious question.
Okay.
That's why you're laughing. It's the reason why you heard the laughing after.
What will your next hairstyle be?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like this color, God did this.
It's awesome.
Right. I don't even know what color this is. So I dyed my hair burgundy before we went on vacation. And you know, Aruba is really close to the equator. And yeah, when I got home, it was this color. I don't even know what color this is. What will my next hairstyle be? Only the Lord knows.
So his serious question is, what are some of the holistic? All right, somebody else grab it. My hands are off the wheel here.
Right, I see a whole bunch of stuff. Okay.
What are some of the holistic practices that you've used to heal?
Good question. So yoga has been really important for me. I signed up with a group of people called Love Your Brain Yoga, and it's a yoga system that's set up specifically for people who have suffered from TBI and the people who care for them. And so it's a free, I think it's 10-week yoga program. You can either do it at home or in a center. So yoga, acupuncture, Reiki. Thanks, Mo. Thanks, Janice. Reiki. Meditation has definitely helped. That whole be still and know thing. Lord, I did massage. Anything that somebody said could work that wasn't another prescription, I was like, it's already jacked up. I can't. I don't think I can make it worse. It can either get better or stay the same. So let's do it. But yeah, and definitely increasing vitamins and minerals, because a lot of people who suffer from traumatic brain injury, your body no longer produces things like melatonin correctly. And so I've had, sleep issues and that sort of thing. Wow. Melatonin, serotonin, those are two things. Zinc is also a thing that your body often doesn't produce enough of after TBI. So I've had some issues with like blood pressure and stuff too. So just trying to replenish and help my brain and my body bring all those things back, in addition to stretching and grounding and meditating and all those things. Yeah, that was a good question. Thanks.
That was a good question. I wanted to talk about it, but I also knew I wanted to make sure that I had time at the end.
Right, to get
the audience. That's why I didn't talk about it in the interview.
Okay. Any more questions?
Any more questions
from the folk?
Yes. And anyone, we're open. Also, while we're mentioning it, CynDiva's CashApp and PayPal are scrolling across the bottom of the screen.
Website is
Dreadloc'd Soul. Now, I know. Wait a minute. I know that you had dreadlocks. Like
I did.
So,
yes.
So I know this is going to sound a silly question. So, is that why you went with that as the name of the albums, Volume 1 and Volume 2?
Right. So, Natty and I both had dreadlocks originally. I had mine for 14 years. He still has his. So now he's the dreadlocks and I'm the soul.
Okay.
That's my story and I'm sticking to it. But we were talking about, so like I said, we wrote the first song without ever even meeting each other. So we were talking about what is our sound, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, when people describe me, what do they say? And 9 times out of 10, it was, the girl, the one that sing real soulful, the one with the locks. And I was like, your sound, the first thing I noticed was the soul in your sound. That's what I was attracted to. That was what was missing in some of the stuff that people had presented to me before that. And so that's how we decided on Dreadloc'd Soul, because that's what our sound and our visual is or was. So, but now he's the dreadlocks and I'm the soul. I'm sure I'll have dreadlocks again before my life is over, but at this time I'm just having fun playing.
So Morna asks, when and where will your next live performance be?
Hey Mornay.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
PPO3, Poet Pride on 3. That was a whole Dunbar thing. Sorry, we out here. I do not have anything on the books as of yet because I'm still in retraining my voice mode. Yeah, so the remainder of 2022 will be for that purpose, for making sure that when I go out, when I do come back, after I've made you guys wait for almost 5 years at that point, I want to make sure I'm coming back at the top of my game.
Great. So in between time and teen time, you don't need no voice to write no book. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And if you need some help,
all right,
let me know. I got a whole. Yeah, I do whole things.
So don't act like you don't know me when
I'm man, Natty, wait a second. Natty 410 is in the comments. I was unaware.
Ow. Hey, brethren.
Welcome. So Maurice also asked, can you describe the emotion you have now that you are able to do some singing again?
Emotion. I'm relieved. I think relieved is the overarching feeling. I'm relieved and grateful. I'm very much grateful. Yeah, because like I said, there were quite a few months where I was like, dude, I don't think it's coming back. Like I still, and the ugly part, again, how I know God has a sense of humor. The ugly part was I still sounded good. It just hurt real bad. I was like, just take the voice. If I can't use it, just take it. But you know, God was like, no, and you want to do some work. It's just there for you. You just gonna have to. We're gonna have to do some work, get this together, and come on back. Wow. And so, yeah. Yeah, relieved and grateful. Those are the two things I feel the most. Oh, and I was reminded about the artists that I would like to perform with, and I say this every day, and I don't know why I didn't say it then. Fonte and the Foreign Exchange. I don't even gotta sing lead with them. I just want to sing background. I just want to be on the stage. I sing backgrounds with them.
I get that. I get that.
That would be really good.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I'm saying, right?
Natty says we're almost ready to take off them training wheels.
Listen, you know how much money I pay? I pay some good money for that concert.
Me and Foreign Exchange?
Yeah.
I pay money. Because we will also because we will always say here, especially on Keep the Mic On, or at least I will always say, support your local artists, because the tickets that we spend, what, $25, $30, you still getting $100 and $200 shows.
Right.
I want to say, I still stand by the fact one of the best shows I have ever been to was I paid $5 to get into the open mic, sold a book for $10. So I made money.
So you went there and made money. You better do it.
I went there and made money. And it was one of the best nights.
Oh,
it was one of the best nights. So I'm going to open the floor. I'm going to send it back to Girl Genius with our last question of the night.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to throw this in there since we were talking about what kind of word book nerds we were, right? Throw this in there before the last question. I was the word nerd that my mama used to, as a punishment, make me read a dictionary. As a punishment.
That was not punishment for me.
No. Because I would do stuff like, prime example, I was singing Madonna's Like a Virgin when I was 7. And my mama told me I wasn't allowed to sing that song unless I knew what the word meant. So I went to the dictionary, looked it up, and came back and started singing the song. My mom's looking at me like I have 6 heads and I'm crazy. And I was like, well, you told me if I knew what it meant, I could sing it. So I defined it for her. She was like, she couldn't say anything because I was like, well, I told you what it meant. I looked it up.
It's a pronoun. It means
Wait a second. Okay, so y'all have the comments are lit tonight. Check that
All
one.
right, I mean, my folks like to talk. You know, I'm interactive out here. I stop and chat with the folk when I'm performing.
Wait a second, because before all of this happened, she also wanted to work on a track where it's her and I together.
Yes, that would also work out well. Yes. Listen. I'm waiting for a project, a musical project. But you're right. You know what? Between now and then, there's this gap in there where you could write a book. And I'm just saying, you got a whole publisher and a professional editor.
Okay.
Here.
Word. Okay. See?
Yeah, we can do the things and the
get the things done.
Apparently this book is going to happen.
It looks like it.
Just make sure I'm in the dedication.
It looks like I'm going to be bullied into my greatness, which often happens.
I'm just saying. I'm not above voluntolding somebody necessarily. I'm not above voluntolding.
And thank you for smiling while you're doing it. I appreciate it.
And for everybody in the comments,
a little softer. It lands a little softer.
Right.
And I'm gonna say for everybody in the comments who said they would buy the book, just like Mr. didn't fix the mailbox to see it's silly, didn't win in it. I didn't screenshot it to make sure you buy the
Listen.
Like I ain't playing with y'all. Remember,
my regular segment on this show is books.
Right.
And I want to say that not every single person, not yet anyway, but most people, when I bring them on the show to talk about their books, I have their books over there. This ain't my segment. I still want that book over there in the collection with the things and the things.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah. All right. Because I would be interested to read this, but let me ask you
real quick. Just remember, analysis is also in the chat, so we could probably do the book release party at Red Emma's. Continue.
You know,
I know that when the plan comes together, when I ain't even had to do
the whole we have
just
planned the whole thing.
Look at God. Would you just look at God?
And then we gonna play this segment during the party. We gonna play.
Yeah, we are.
On August 21st, 2022.
I'm just saying.
Agreed.
All barriers have been removed at this point. All barriers been removed.
Remember us on your E Hollywood story.
Exactly.
Definitely. And the Lord had told me who I was before I became this famous. You know what I'm saying? So I know who I am before I sing these songs. You know.
Right. Oh, my face hurts. Y'all are funny.
So. Exactly.
I hear the people, Mom. I hear the people.
The fact that we've had multiple offers to do stuff in here, it's gonna happen. You heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here.
Right. So now I'm gonna ask you.
Heard it. Okay.
The hardest question you will answer all night, because I'm the person that always comes with a difficult question. The hard question.
Ooh, I like
the SAT prep question. The one that no one's ever ready to answer. And so I'm gonna tell you now here's how it goes. So you know Sherry's segment is, from behind the microphone. Mine is books. We have passion projects and we have poets and platforms, right? So you know how the show works. You've been here, you've done this, right? So now that you have done the show, who do you think will make a good guest on this show? Whose brain?
I got off my heart because I knew it was coming.
No. Whose brain do you want to pick? Whose brain do you want to pick? Who would you like to see? Who would you like to see a master class from? Who do you think would work?
I have two answers actually.
Ready?
And the first would be my sister in song, J Suma.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer Suma. And then the second, I don't know if I tried to go through y'all list, but y'all do so much. Have you guys interviewed anybody from Baltimore Ceasefire?
No. Okay, platform lady who's sitting below me.
All right.
That's a Kaniki segment.
Yeah,
that's a Kaniki segment. That's a platform for you right there. That's a whole
anybody from Baltimore Ceasefire. Yeah.
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 I'm gonna be reaching out to get contact information because you're definitely right.
Okay.
Yeah. I the one name just popped off the top of my head from that. Yeah, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to everyone in the chat, you can drop your C's, drop your snap emojis. Let's give a huge round of applause to our guest this evening, CynDiva.
Aw, you guys.
You get the whole round of applause.
I made it without crying on screen.
Me too.
That's what
I'm so
happens.
proud of us. I'm so proud of us because I was like, dude, I'm gone.
So,
As soon as I saw your face, I was like, oh, dang it.
right? Didn't cry on screen. That's all I care about because like I said, I've known all week that this was going to be a special interview and a special conversation. And I've been dying to have it. And I'm so happy that we did.
Thank you.
This will remain live on our Facebook and our YouTube. It will be uploaded to our
Spotify.
podcast feed. So feel free to like, subscribe, share. Yellow hands, yellow. Oh, okay. I see what happens. I see what's happening. He's getting yellow hands applause.
Okay.
The applause came out yellow. His applause
No. Okay, look. When y'all see it.
With brown hands.
Thank you. That is the energy we want to leave.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's hilarious.
All right, everybody.
Who's next week?
That's hilarious.
I was getting ready to say. So we will be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. with Kaniki and Poets and Platforms. And our special guest will be
Droopy, the broke baller, Anderson. It's gonna be an amazing interview. If you've heard me do any interviews during my poet laureate term, the baby's mad right now. During my poet laureate term, you know that I have talked about him. And come back next week to see why.
Yay!
We love you too, Natty. Thank you for everyone in the audience. Thank you for staying in and hanging out. Please like and subscribe. YouTube. We're trying to break 100, not 100,000, just 100.
No. Say that differently. I didn't like that energy.
We want to get to the monetization level, which is 1,000. But I think once we break 100, that something will happen, and then we'll expand.
Right.
You know, you got to have the little goal and then the big goal.
I have to count episodes.
Okay,
right, but I need you to speak. Hold on.
I have to count episodes.
Wait. The Diva's talking.
I need you to speak to the big goal.
100,000.
Right. Because we believe that our God is a God of more than enough. So we're going to start with the big goal so he can give us more than the big goal.
Yeah.
Right. We ain't dealing with the 100. We know that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen before this week is over. Right. We're gonna speak to, and we're all gonna put our energy to the 100,000.
Come on.
Thank you.
Amen.
I got nothing else.
Speaking of 100, I have to count. We might be 100 episodes deep now.
Oh, you know what we do?
I have to count, but I want to say if we're not over it, we're real close to it.
Right at it. Okay. Good.
All right. So everyone, as you know, as we say every week, stay safe, wash your hands. We will see y'all all back here next Sunday at 7 p.m. with Drew Anderson, which will be another amazing conversation. That's all I got, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. We love you.